it's Doris with all the books, and I am here with my very first Friday reads of the summer. Yes, I am in the just beginning hours of summer vacation, public school teacher paradise for 2 months. I'm happy. I'm so happy. So, I have finished one book this week. See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. Some of you that are booktube junkies, as I am, will know that this book has been getting very mixed reviews. Sign me up for I loved it. Oh my gosh, I was completely absorbed from page 1. So I ended up listening to this on audio. I needed a new audiobook, and I typically try to get them free from my public library, and I typically try to get books that are on my TBR shelves physically so I can still work on whittling those down. And you know, audiobooks are great for getting an extra book in a month because you can do it in times when you normally wouldn't read, like driving the car and mowing the lawn. So I listened to this on audio, and I'm kind of wondering if I would have liked it as much if I'd actually read it. The audiobook narrator was just spot on for me. She really gave it this creepy quality. Like, not in her voice wasn't creepy, but in the way she read these girls, it just was creepy. So let me tell you what this is about in case you don't know. I think most of you probably do, but this is about the Lizzie Borden murders. I think they were in like the late 1892. Okay, late 1892 was the year they happened. So this book is just, it's not a start to finish, what does she think happened and how did they investigate the crime scene and the trial. It is not that. What it is a psychological peek into what these people's minds were like. And now it's fiction, it's a work of fiction because she didn't know these people, and she just has to go on vague outlines and interviews and newspaper clippings that she'd read from, you know, way back when. So it is a work of fiction, but it was fascinating to me. The word that came to mind was visceral. It is so visceral. So if you don't like that blood and guts, yucky thoughts, yeah, that's one reason this might not be the book for you. It very much reminded me of that scene in Silence of the Lambs when Jodie Foster comes into this maximum security prison and Hannibal Lecter sniffs her on the breeze, you know. Do you remember that scene? This reminded me of it. So you get in the minds of Lizzie and her sister Emma and this other random guy that I won't tell you who, but another possibility in the crime, the uncle, the girl that worked for them, and it was just fascinating. And the thing about the audio voice for me was she read it like these were young girls, and then you find out that they're like 30 and 40 years old and still living at home with their parents, and then her voice, you hear it and you're like, that's just not right. She brings this very much disturbed quality to it in a childish manner. Yeah, it was all there for me. Another reason people don't like it, it jumps around in timelines and from points of view quite often, so you have to pay attention, and sometimes even then you're like, wait, when am I? So there's that. And it's not one of those books that's a story from beginning to end. It's not about the plot. It's not even 100% about the characters. It's about the mind, and I was fascinated. But as I said, totally read all the reviews, because this is definitely a book where it's going to hit some people spot on, and others are like, what is that crap? I liked it though. Okay, and so then you are going to laugh at the rest of this, and I'm not going to go into great detail about these books because I just rambled for 5 minutes about the first one, for one, and for two, I'm obviously going to be talking about a lot of these next Friday when I have finished them and wrapped them up, and I want to get in a good rhythm with these Friday reads, and also if I vlog where I'm not repeating myself, because I don't like to be repetitive. So I'm not going to say much, but just give you an idea what's going on in my reading life right now. It's quite funny. My reading life was not so great for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, because of school. Had a very stressful situation going on and some other little bits and pieces, but we're done now and I'm ready to jump in, but I'm kind of behind. So what happened was, I mean, we all know that I'm a multi-book reader. I'm usually reading several at one time anyway, but this is a little overboard because half of these are buddy reads. Yes, I have somehow immersed myself in the buddy reading scene, like just dove right in, and I'm drowning, but it is so much fun. So I am reading Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell, and this was an all-month buddy read with Kate and lots of others, and this is absolutely delightful. So readable. If you are the type that are a little nervous about classics, but you want to read more, this is the one for you. It is quite long. I think it's 800 almost pages, but it doesn't feel, it reads like you're watching a mini series, and you're going to love it if you know the topic is of interest to you. But yeah, so this is a slow buddy read, intended to last the entire month, so just 2 chapters a day, and finish by the end of May. And I am on track except for yesterday, but I'm at the point where a lot of sneaky people like Mel have gone ahead and finished. So I'm at the point where, you know, it's getting exciting and I want to go ahead and plow through. But you know, with a 300-page book, that happens at the 50-page mark, and you want to plow through, and you can. But this one reaches the plow through point at the 200-page mark, and 200 pages, that's a much harder figure to plow through. But I think I will get to it tomorrow. I think I'm going to do the plowing tomorrow. And then I have Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. And this one I was supposed to buddy read with Jenni King last week. Thankfully, this is a reread for her, so she's not very stressed out about it, because I started it last week and then I just couldn't. I couldn't read. I don't know about most of you probably are like, oh gosh, I'm stressed, let me go home and read to escape. I can't do that. When I get stressed, I'm like, oh, let me go home and mow the lawn. I have to do manual labor when I'm stressed because I cannot focus. Anyway, all these personal bits today. But yes, Bel Canto, the first 100 pages were good, and Patchett is just an excellent writer, but it wasn't consuming me. I don't want to say it was a little bit boring, but maybe a little bit. But then all of a sudden the music came back literally to the story, and it is just like a virtuoso masterpiece. It is beautiful. So I'm totally enjoying this and having so much fun gushing about it with Jenni King. And this is another one that I'd like to plow through. I'm at the I want to just plow through it point. and I got over 100 pages left. So I'm thinking I'll plow through this one maybe on Sunday. Okay, and then I have discovered that I love the subgenre. I didn't even know this was a thing, but I Googled it and it is so a thing. Adventure nonfiction. I am so into it, and I've just got this huge list now that I want to read. So I sent my list to Heidi, and I'll try to link these people below, but I said, you want to read one with me? And she said, sure. And so we picked out, she said she was wanting to read a Candice Millard. So this is River of Doubt by Candice Millard. She has several titles that I'm interested in. So yes, we're reading about Teddy Roosevelt on the Amazon River. And this one is totally hitting me in my sweet spot. I am just... This nonfiction, as much as I'm loving everything else I'm reading, I want to drop it all and finish this nonfiction right now. I am so immersed. And Candice Millard, Heidi mentioned this, but she's the queen of the cliffhanger. Oh my goodness. So yes, this is less politics and more environmental biology, that kind of thing. I'm fascinated and immersed. And this one, I think I'm going to power through tonight. Yeah, so. Okay, and then another scheduled buddy read with Keriann, and I'm so horrible with names. I know I've looked it up, and this is... It's sad, but you know, people get mad about the way people pronounce names, but even when I look them up, I can't remember later on that evening how to pronounce it, even though I looked it up. So Jaclyn, I'm so sorry. You are brilliant. And I will get it soon. But we're reading Sight together, and this is a teeny weeny, and I am so glad that I'm buddy reading this one because it is deep in the meaning. Wow. So much layers of meaning in this one. And this one reminds me of the See What I Have Done, not in content, but in mixed reviews. This is another one that is love it or hate it, I think. I am loving it. Oh my gosh, her prose is gorgeous. Her insight is gorgeous. This is such an introspective, intellectual read, and I am just reveling in it, but I'm getting so much more out of it by having people to talk to, definitely, but more to come. Essentially, this is not really like... It blows my mind that this is fiction, because for someone to be creative enough to come up with this much introspection for fictional characters is just brilliant. I swear it is autobiographical / essays, which is another thing that I've heard as even a negative, you know, that people, if you're expecting a novel, there's not much of a plot here, but it is fascinating so far for me. So those are in progress, and another one I wanted to ask you guys about, I was having trouble finding my next audiobook. So I had a friend had sent me this one, The Magicians by Lev Grossman, on Audible, because you can, you know, share one book. And yeah, I've heard mixed reviews about this one as well. Angsty teenagers a la Catcher in the Rye, not so much. But the one thing I might DNF it for is the language. Like, I can handle, you know, a strategically placed F-bomb in my literature if it's for effect. But this is kind of jarring for me because it's written the way high school teenagers speak, which is a good thing, I suppose. But I'm kind of a snob about that. I just, you know, I'm not knocking you if you use bad words, because, you know, I have a potty mouth about certain words in certain settings, but if you've ever walked a high school hallway, you will know why I'm adverse to listening to teenagers drop the F-bomb. It's just, you know, learn a new word, learn how to speak, use your words. I'm sorry, I'm a public school teacher, and it's just become a filler word, and it's just, yeah. So for effect, yes, but just in everyday speech, it's like when somebody says like I just did. But I don't know. I'm rambling here. But it's jarring for me because I'm not used to that kind of language in fantasy fiction. When I'm reading an epic fantasy, I want to be on that higher plane. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you hear me? So even the professors are dropping the F-bomb in this book, and I just don't know. And I've heard mixed things about this. So many mixed things. So let me know if you've read this. Let me know if it's worth it, or, you know, I don't know. It's on Audible, so it's not taking up much of my time, but yeah. And then I do want to get to Ethan Frome. I want to say Ethan Frome because that sounds like cool to me, but phonetically I think it is Ethan Frome. But yes, Robert from Barter Hoardes read this last week and put out a video on it for his read-along, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I want to so I can watch his video, and it's only like 75 pages, so I think I can knock this out soon. So there you go. I mean, I do have 2 more, but I'm already at 17 minutes, and these are barely started, and I haven't dipped into them since this buddy read school stress fiasco started. So maybe next Friday I'll talk to you about those. But anyway, let me know what you think about these books that are mixed review worthy, or if I should continue with The Magicians or not. And how's your weekend going? Mine is starting off great. Oh, the anticipation is here. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will be back soon.